Hey guys, Dominick and
Marie
from Genuine Reels, and we're doing a little something different today. I am doing a video, but I'm also doing this as a podcast because this is going to be a longer conversation. So the conversation today is about Game of Thrones, the hit television show. So I just want to get out of the way. If you're listening to this on the podcast, good job. This is pretty much ideally the way you should be listening to it. If you're watching my stupid face and Marie's cute face, you could keep doing that, but you could go take it with you with the podcast. So we're trying that out. But Game of Thrones, I have just finished binge watching Game of Thrones. Marie is the resident expert on Game of Thrones. I mean, she's just fantastic. She knows everything. She reads the books. She's gotten me hooked. It's taken me long enough. Marie, let's talk Game of Thrones. Give me some feelings overall this series.
I'm really excited. I've been waiting so very long. Usually it airs in April, so it was a little bit of a wait for us avid Game of Thrones fans. Of course, I read the books to keep myself occupied, usually in the in-betweens. But yeah, I'm overall really, really excited. Last season was probably one of my favorite seasons. So looking forward to these next two and final seasons. 2 and final seasons is right. And we're going to get into predictions a little bit later on in this, but there are 7 episodes in season 7. And there are 6 episodes in season 8 with a grand total of 13 episodes. So we'll talk a little bit about that later. But let's talk overall about the show. Now, for me, personally, I heard so much about this show that... From me.
Oh, from you. From you, definitely. But even prior to you, people tried to tell me about it. I was like, all right, I'll watch it, I'm the kind of person, I don't know, when something gets really, 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 really hyped, I don't know if it's a defense mechanism or something, but I back away.
Of course.
And I'm kind of like, I'm not in a rush. I'm going to watch it eventually, but I just feel like the hype is probably not real. Having watched all 6 seasons, I can say, and I will admit in the beginning it was a little hard for me. There's a lot of characters in the first season. But my God, Game of Thrones, now I'm going to say bold statements here because this podcast is going to be full of bold statements. Full of bold statements. I am, say what you want, I am a diehard Sopranos fan if we're going to talk about HBO shows. Probably one of my top 5 TV shows. I'm a diehard Breaking Bad fan. Other shows too out there, but to name those 2 because those are consensus-wise, I think some of the most popular.
Yeah, definitely.
I might be pushing Game of Thrones to the top. I might have to, and it's just it's so good, and it's a show that you really need to pay attention to. Develop a love for the characters or a hate for the characters, and really get into that world. Yeah. But once you do, it pays off.
Oh, absolutely. I love so much about this show. I'm the type of person that I'll discover a show and then I'll push it on other people. I force it on them. I'm like, you have to watch this. And it was really funny. I got my dad and his wife to watch Game of Thrones by slipping it to them, and I was just like, you need something to watch here, on the table. Literally, this happened. I just slipped it to them, and I was like, just be aware, there's a lot of violence and a lot of nudity. And they've been hooked ever since.
For damn good reasons.
So
let's jump into the show, talking about the show. I mean, I ran through it. You're the professional on this. Let's talk a little bit about the families in Game of Thrones. I am going to butcher some names. Marie's going to correct me and probably hit me. But hey, listen, I'm fairly new to all this. Okay. So let's talk about the families. We got the Starks.
Well, let's say that we're talking about the show because there is
Oh yes. So well, let's also, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, spoiler alert.
Oh God.
Because we're going to talk about everything.
Spoilers, yeah.
This is probably going to be the first of the Game of Thrones kind of talk, especially with the new episodes. Spoiler filled. So we're going to ruin it right now.
Yeah, right now. Also,
Sean Bean's dead. He is dead. He gets it in a way that he gave it out.
Yeah. But we're talking about the show, not the books.
That's right. Not necessarily books. We might dabble in some.
We might dabble. We'll mention if it's the books or the show. There are some differences. If you have read the books, like me, I'm a super nerd. Like I said, I go hardcore. So, but yes.
So families.
Sean Bean. I actually saw on the internet one time that it was like Sean Bean dies in every single part because his name is supposed to rhyme, but it doesn't. Because it's spelled like it's supposed to rhyme, which I thought was fucking hysterical.
I get you.
Yeah.
I get you.
It's good time. Anyway,
right.
I digress.
So let's go into the families. We have the Starks. We have
Lannisters.
The Lannisters. We have the Martells.
Yeah. We're talking about overall series.
Overall,
thing?
yeah,
Okay,
overall.
yeah,
We're just throwing families out there.
The Tyrells.
Tyrells. We have who else?
God.
Targaryens.
Oh, how could I forget the Targaryens?
About favorite families. I mean, initially, I think a lot of people love the Starks.
Yeah, you fall in love. The way that people get into the show is that they fall in love with the Starks, and like Sean Bean is like a perfect father figure opening.
Oh, I wish hug him.
And there's also the Baratheons too.
Right,
the Baratheons are different, you know. But I think you really fall in love with like Sean Bean's character
and even the bastard son of his, Jon Snow.
Yeah, Jon Snow.
I think it's funny with the show because obviously like the Starks, and then the Starks are pretty much like wiped out.
Yeah.
As far as like the second and third season, you're kind of like
Yeah, like why? Yeah. Well, the show makes you get all the feels. Like constantly you get in all the feels. I think the way that you fall in love with the Lannisters is Tyrion is fucking genius.
Right.
Like, Peter Dinklage in this role is like wonderful.
Well, this is we're going to delve into this with the characters, people we love and hate, but like the genius of Game of Thrones, as we've talked about already, it's like you have your characters you like, and you like for good reason. They're morally, good people. And then you have your characters you don't like, and they start becoming characters you like.
Yeah,
because you start living in this fucked up world where like you're liking a guy that's all burnt up named the Hound, who
pretty much will kill
you,
anyone.
He has no mercy.
He has no fucks. This guy has no fucks. He gives no fucks
given.
And I feel like you don't really like him at first because he's like he's Joffrey's dog.
Right.
Like he's Joffrey's.
Oh God.
Yeah. So, and we all know how we feel. Yeah, we all know how we feel about Joffrey. But it's really funny because everybody's like, oh, when Ramsay came about and he was like the new baddie.
Right.
Everybody was like, oh, Ramsay wasn't even half as or Joffrey wasn't even half as bad as Ramsay. But now you got Cersei and she's the worst of all.
Well,
she's the fucking worst of
all.
Well,
let's now who's your favorite family if you had to go off the top of your head?
Targaryen.
Yeah,
Daenerys.
Of course.
Just because she's such a strong
Khaleesi.
She's such a strong female figure.
Yeah,
and it's so awesome. And
good segue.
Yeah.
Because let's talk strong female characters because we have some topics to go over, obviously, but the strong female characters, you hear it in movies all over the place. Oh, strong female characters.
It's been really widespread now. Nowadays, Wonder Woman, it was like a thing.
Everybody talks about it, and yeah, it's really prominent now, Wonder Woman, but I don't think enough people talk about the fact that Game of Thrones has some of the strongest
completely
female characters.
Yep, and the best female character development, too, over a series. I think that even Cersei, somebody who is so hated as a character,
right? So
fucking strong, has gone through so much. Arya being a young innocent girl,
Great character.
Yeah, and
Arya. I wrote down some, but even Brienne of Tarth.
Oh, fucking Brienne is badass.
And of course Daenerys, your girl Daenerys. Strong female characters. Written right, written with good storylines. Not really, nobody's cheap, nobody. I was saying it to you before, as a guy, to have these female characters that, I like more female characters in the show than guys, pretty much. I mean, they outnumber them.
Well, it's funny because I was reading, an interview with George R.R. Martin, and they were like,
And he's a woman.
No. No, not that much of a spoiler. Everybody was like, oh, how do you write strong female characters so well? And he's like, they're people.
Right.
They're just people. Like,
And that's
so he just
it.
writes
Dropped
them
the
as
fucking
people.
mic.
Yeah, he just writes them as people.
And walked away.
Yeah, pretty much. And I couldn't agree more with that. Obviously, we're people, so we
want to
should
give that guy a hug. He looks like you just want to hug him.
He's
right?
awesome. Yeah. I definitely want to give him a hug.
Okay, so we got the strong female characters. We have the male characters, and what you're saying about Cersei, you know, evil bitch that she is. And this is getting back to, like, liking those characters you wouldn't normally like.
Yeah.
You understand their motives.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
like everybody's motives are so good that, like, you side with people.
Well, no one's completely good and no one's completely bad. You know, in like a series like Lord of the Rings, it was very much, or even Star Wars, it's very much good versus evil.
Right.
And it's very black and white. Mm-hmm. But he writes them as people who have gray areas. They have weaknesses. They have flaws.
Unless you're Ned Stark.
Well, even he has some flaws. We'll get some theories.
Fuck. Okay, so
theories.
So yeah, you're right. No, you're definitely right. There's also great male characters, obviously.
Oh, totally. Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about some of the characters that we did not like in the beginning, but we liked as this show went on. At least, you know, my opinion and your opinion might be different.
Mm-hmm.
But who are some of the characters you hated initially, who grew on you?
Hated? I mean, that grew on me. Definitely Jaime Lannister is probably the one who has come through the most
friggin' dog.
Character development.
Yeah,
as far as that. Also, the Hound.
Oh, I love
wasn't crazy about him, and then I was like,
he hooked up with Arya.
Yeah,
I just want to watch them all day.
Yeah,
like, I just think they're an awesome pair.
Yeah,
like,
they are.
Such a great dynamic.
I know.
They could get like a movie.
They could.
The Adventures of the Hound.
They get like Arya. A sitcom.
Yeah. And here, like, with a laugh track. Like, I walked in. Then the occasional, appearance from the mountain.
Right, naturally.
Just popping up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know what we're talking about anymore. Jaime Lannister, let me tell you something. We were just rewatching the first episode because we're just going nuts with Game of Thrones right now.
It was his idea. He can't get enough.
I can't. I'm like a drug addict. I really am. I'm reading the fucking book. I'm watching the first episode, and he pushes Bran out a window. This cannot be overstated. I remember watching this first time you saw this, and I was like, I hate this guy that looks like Jon Smith from Pocahontas, because that's what I thought he looked like when I first started watching the show. And, like, I fucking love Jaime Lannister. I don't care if he fucks his sister. I don't condone that kind of shit, but, hey, it was back in the day. He fucks his sister. And she's pretty hot, so whatever. But, like, at the end of the day, this guy's awesome. He got no hand now. He's got the fucking, was that wood or metal?
Gold.
It's gold, right?
It's gold.
Shit. Yeah, I was thinking Chubbs Peterson, Happy Gilmore stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's
You'll get
badass.
to that in the book.
he's awesome.
He is
love
awesome.
Jaime. Love Jaime Lannister.
Now that we've established you have a man crush on Jaime Lannister.
I love Jaime Lannister. I like that fucking guy. He's, I don't know if I almost said it like him more than Jon Snow. That might be like blasphemous.
Wow, really?
No, I don't think so. Maybe. Pretty much neck and neck.
Neck and neck. Yeah.
It's like if they were fighting, I don't know who I'd be rooting for.
God.
Speaking of fighting, what about that fucking Hound Brienne of Tarth fight?
Yo, that whole episode was out of control.
I was very conflicted.
It was, oh man, because then later on it was Oberyn and the Mountain, right? That was that episode. Oh my gosh, that episode was so much crazy shit. I remember watching that in my house, and I felt like I needed to drink because there was just so much going on, and I was like, no! If Brienne won or if the Hound won,
you couldn't decide.
Like,
you just couldn't decide.
And then the whole thing with Oberyn and the Mountain and that whole crazy shit.
My
and
God.
then it was like Tyrion's hanging in the balance, of the trial.
That fight with the Mountain. And it was funny because I didn't really like the Martells when they first came on. I remember you were like, "Oh, you don't like them? Why don't you like them?"
I liked.
And then, like, as the fight's going on, he's like, "You kill my sister." He's kind of doing the Princess Bride thing.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, I'm starting to like this guy.
Yeah.
Dead, head smashed,
smushed like a fucking egg.
Nightmare. The Mountain is enormous.
Oh my God! Now he's Frankenstein.
He is Frankenstein.
Yeah.
He's a fucking ghoul.
He's a ghoul.
Love it though, but
Yeah,
that's what I love about the show
good.
too. It blends so many things. Like, It's not just, that kind of period piece.
Yeah.
But it has all that shit where it's the magic, the dark magic.
He does medieval fantasy so well.
Right.
This is everything I want in a medieval fantasy story. And medieval fantasy is my shit. I love it. I love it.
To me, he does everything you could want. And, a guy looking like Frankenstein not talking. It's terrifying. It's, creepy. Okay, so let's talk about those more. Let's continue with the characters we didn't like. Tywin Lannister. Dude, it's the guy from fucking Last Action Hero with the glass eye. The bad guys do win, Jack, in the real world, whatever the hell he says. He's awesome in this show. Completely really understand his motives. I hate him. I love him.
Yeah.
I was when he got killed by Tyrion, I was kind of like, okay, I understand.
Really? I thought it was so I was justice right there.
Well, oh yeah.
And that was such a turning point for Tyrion in the show too, where it was he was the clever one, right. and then he's also a bastard in his father's eyes and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden he just fucking stood up for himself. He finally just really stood up to himself to the biggest person that would give him all of that terrible those
after
terrible
all
feelings.
The years
all that build up
from birth, just having being on his back and being just piece of shit to him.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely well deserved. I kind of I started sympathizing with him a little bit, because I just saw him especially with those scenes with Arya, and he was kind of becoming almost like a weird kind of fatherly figure to her when she was there.
Yeah, but I think he always was just that fatherly figure. And I did kind of feel bad for him because Cersei's a bitch, and I think she had just told him that her and her brother were fucking.
She did. I fucked his whole head up.
And he was just what the fuck? His wife dies, giving childbirth to
He also hated his son, though.
He also definitely hated his son,
He's fucked up. All right, he's
really
fucked up.
He is fucked up.
Fuck him and his glass eye.
But I can understand, but he's still fucked
up. So let's talk a little bit about... We're jumping around a little bit. Is there anything you want to add to? Feel free.
Yeah.
Because I'm just jumping around.
Go ahead.
If you want to say, I want to talk about this part of the show... blew my mind. We could do that.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
But what about characters we fucking hate and we can't stand?
Well, I mean, obviously there's Joffrey. He was the number one haterade.
Number one,
party.
Wanted dead.
Yeah, wanted dead.
I knew a couple of things that slipped through the cracks, spoiler wise. A couple light things. I was able to ignore most of the stuff. But I didn't, know for a fact Joffrey was going to die. But day one, I was just I want him to die. I hate him.
And he died.
He choked. Choked on
Purple Wedding.
Yeah, Purple Wedding. Damn straight. Joffrey, Ramsay, fucking Bolton.
Oh,
Ramsay. Snow. Ugh.
He is the worst of the worst right there. A torturer.
Oh, God. But I will say, funny.
Funny.
Yes. Has a lot of funny lines, whereas I didn't laugh at shit Joffrey said.
Yeah, no, you were just I want to punch you in the face all the time. Right. But he was just, he was so sarcastic and so haughty and full of himself. I can't, that whole thing with the exchanges with Theon, he was just I was oh God, what a prick.
Obviously Cersei. We hate Cersei, but
she's such a good villain.
Good villain.
Good fucking villain.
With that eye, she does that thing. With that eye, you know that thing.
I know that thing.
How about... Speaking of eyes.
Oh my God.
I gotta bring this guy up. The fucking dude. You're gonna tell me his name again.
Yeah.
Alistair Thorne.
Yeah,
Alistair Thorne. For those who don't fucking know the names like me. Alright? Because I don't know him for shit. The dude... that ran the Night Watch before, right?
Not Mormont. Not Mormont.
Okay, right.
So after Mormont.
Tiny eyes. Hates Jon Snow. Hate him. Hated him since day one. Hate his face. I'm sorry if I'm attacking the guy on a personal level because that's his eyes, but what the fuck, dude? Why do you have eyes like that? Are you a warlock?
Definitely a warlock. He's gonna murder you in your sleep now.
I'm gonna wake up to him standing on my bed for the watch, and then knife to the stomach.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I don't even know why I brought that guy. Okay, we're just bringing up random characters now.
Yeah.
Robin, the Stark's cousin.
Robin Arryn.
Yo, dude.
Robin Arryn, yes.
Dude. Uncle Peter.
Oh my
I
god,
hate that kid.
Well,
that kid's gonna cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, you
that
think he's still sucking on the tit, like
right, but he's got power now, doesn't he? He's got like a little power.
Yeah, but also his Uncle Peter, which is really fucking weird that he calls him Uncle Peter now. Like that's his stepdad, whatever. Anyway, or was his stepdad. Anyway, Peter Baelish, yeah, that's another one I didn't really like.
Right. Well, we can talk. Let's talk about Peter Baelish because you could do a whole podcast about Peter Baelish.
Yeah,
Littlefinger.
Definitely. He's a man with many layers.
Well, this is the thing about this show. Getting back to the writing and the characters and the motives. Like when I remember seeing Peter Baelish for the first time, and I was just like, oh, I know that guy. I've seen that guy around, and like. He kind of, you would think he'd just be, even, he's small, he's always, doing his shit, he's always got his ways, but like, what's the word I'm looking for? He's such an engaging character.
Yeah, he is.
Because like, you're always watching him, like, and that goes back to the acting and the writing. Like,
absolutely.
This guy is like, you're always watching him, like, what is he up to? He's up to something. He's got a plot. He's fucking sticking his dick in everybody. He's trying to, at least.
He's trying to. Definitely getting cock block. It's like, it's going to be the story of Peter Baelish. How many times he's gotten cock blocked over the years?
By a star.
By a star. Any star.
And then he fucked that crazy bitch.
Oh my god.
What's his name? Mother.
Yeah, that's Liza. I'm sorry.
No.
My god.
Robin's mother. What the fuck's her name?
Yeah, it's Catelyn's sister. But Tully. Oh my god. For some reason I blanked on the name.
You know better than me.
I shame on me.
Shame. Shame. That's it. Guys, avert your eyes. Okay. Let's talk. So, anything else with Peter Baelish?
Well, he is... Another character like that, too, is Varys.
Okay.
Varys, who's like, he's always like... You don't know what he's up to.
One, right?
Yeah, the eunuch.
He never knows. He never knows. So many great characters, really, in this show. Theon Greyjoy.
Oh, God. Ye Old Theon.
Ye Old Theon. I remember when I first saw Theon. I remember him from John Wick, the first one.
That's weird that you know him from John Wick and mine is the reverse.
Right, yeah. It is. Yours is the right version.
And mine is the right version.
Game of Thrones was in existence, so he did that after. But, I remember seeing him be like, oh, I hate this guy's face. I hate him. And you were just like, she kept being mad cryptic with everything. She was like, just wait. Like, every time I said something, like, I was like, I hate the Lannisters. And she's like, just wait. Now I, like the Lannisters for the most part.
Two-thirds.
Well, yeah. Tyrion, Jaime, a couple.
Every time he would say something, he'd be like, yo... This fucking guy, Theon. I'm like, just wait.
And Theon, he gets it good. Listen, he does, I think, does he deserve everything he gets? I don't think he deserves to lose his dick. I don't think
he did. That was fucked up, man.
Can't wish that on any man. But, he was fucked up, too.
He
did some fucked up.
He did fucked up.
Got humbled.
Shit. But obviously, he got a whole new fucking personality.
Reek.
Yeah.
Reek. Come over here, let me wash you, fucking weirdo. Yeah, that dude's weird. All right,
yes.
Moment of silence for Rickon.
I know.
The Forgotten Stalk.
Oh my god.
Did anybody ever care about him?
Yes, I did. It's in the books. You have to read the books more.
I'm doing it.
It made me really sad.
So I figured we'd dabble a little bit into the history and the future, before we say toodles. So the history. I am a big fan. The reason, and this is going back to like how I said, like, this might top The Sopranos for me and Breaking Bad, because I love, and you're the same, I love that rich story.
Oh god.
I love it. Like, I love it's it's deeper obviously in Game of Thrones, but I brought up Star Wars, and like the thing that makes me so into Star Wars is just the families and the history of it and all the stuff going on, and Game of Thrones is no different, more so.
What we mean by rich story is that right now Game of Thrones is taking place in a moment of time for these characters. We kind of just got dropped in the middle of after this rebellion. Right. So there's a lot of backstory to this, to what's going on right now. There's a lot of past that has already happened, and we were kind of just dropped into it. And having a story like that is awesome. That's what really brings it to life and makes it so immersive as like a story or the books or anything like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, go on.
No, the family histories, like, hearing about the Mad King and, like, getting back to the motives and how Daenerys she's going to reclaim that.
The Iron Throne, yep.
She's going to reclaim it, rightfully so. Because, hey, it was basically, robbed.
It was robbed.
I mean, her father's fucking batshit crazy.
Yeah, yep. There were
that
things.
brother's a fucking asshole, too.
Oh, Viserys.
Yeah, he got his
Because we
crap.
obviously don't know Rhaegar.
Right. Rhaegar was the other brother.
Yes, yeah.
The one we were talking about she was supposed to marry.
Lyanna.
Wait.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if she was supposed to marry
Wasn't
him.
Daenerys...
I
was just reading
married.
the book, that's why. Daenerys, I think they passed a comment about how she was supposed to marry her brother.
Oh, probably, but then he, like, stole away Lyanna.
Okay.
Remember?
Oh, that's the brother?
That's the brother. They said Rhaegar.
I don't know what they said. I really don't know what they said.
Forget.
Let us know
what
in the comments.
Yeah, I forget what they said in the book. It's been a while since I read the first book.
But yeah, the history, the Starks and just seeing that family get shit on.
Yeah.
Bad streak. They're coming back, though.
They're coming back.
Winter's coming.
Winter is here.
That's true.
Winter is fucking here.
Winter is here. So let's take the final minutes of this podcast to talk about the future, the predictions, what we think is going to happen, what may or may not happen. You spoke about a little bit about history repeating itself. Sort of. You had an interesting theory.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen. I try not to go into this show with any sort of theory because I like to be surprised. I like Game of Thrones to kind of write itself and show me where it goes. And but this season I actually started speculating. I've never really done that before, but I was saying, like, for instance, Jaime. He has a very large choice in front of him because he's done so much character development, and they ended where Tommen killed himself. Cersei is being crowned the queen, the Mad Queen now.
Right.
And he has
blew
a choice.
Those motherfuckers up.
Yeah, everybody. She just fucking blew everybody up.
Yeah.
So he has a choice to back her, or go in the opposite direction and maybe fight for Daenerys, or fight for someone else entirely, or just be with, maybe, like, join Brienne Tarth and do his thing with her. But I was saying, like, everything kind of comes full circle, and because he's the usurper or the Kingslayer, maybe he will become the Queenslayer. But we don't know, because this show does a lot of full circle. Well, listen, it really does. But
we were talking about it before, just like the Mad King fucking wanted to blow everybody up. She fucking did it.
Yeah, I wonder, do you
Wildfire and shit.
Do you think if Jaime was around, he would have killed her if he knew that? It's interesting question.
You know what's fucked up? Now that you said it like that, I don't think he would have.
Really?
I think he would have went along with it.
Yeah?
I think so. I think so. I think maybe he would have tried to spare some lives. But I think...
But he lost his son because of it.
So we don't know how Jaime feels, obviously, because he goes into that church when he church when he sees her.
No, the the throne room.
Right, the throne room. So you never know how he's gonna react. Maybe it's possible.
Yeah.
So
and Arya, right?
Right, Arya.
I think, well, she, like, fed the pie back to Walder Frey, and that was fun and exciting.
I love her journey.
But she's gonna want to get revenge on everybody, and she wants to do it herself,
That's what it is.
So it's like, what side is she gonna join? Is she gonna join a side? Is she gonna last through it? She's like the rogue character,
Yeah,
like
you're gonna. I wonder if
character.
she's gonna meet up with Jon and
Sansa.
I wonder. I mean, definitely got to get wrapped up though, because that time's going to wind down very quickly.
Yeah.
So you're going to see, not saying necessarily every character's going to die, but you're definitely going to see storylines close off. You know, yeah. I expect, honestly, I'm expecting big things even early in this new season. I'm expecting things to really blow up. So favorite season, Marie? What's your favorite season?
I have 2.
Okay.
Season 4 and season 6 thus far.
Okay, you're doing it 2. It's all a blur to me now because I watched so much of it. But I will say season 6 is probably up there. I know we talked about your favorite episode, which was the Battle of the Bastards.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a fantastic episode.
I think it's everyone's favorite episode.
It's incredible episode. It's funny because you watch the epic episodes from the past seasons, and you're like, these are really, really good. And then, like, I watched Battle of the Bastards, and I was like, holy fucking shit.
It's honestly between that episode or the episode after that, which I forget the name.
Right. Yeah. Well, anything else you want to add on this Game of Thrones podcast?
That's it. Just 13 more episodes,
guys.
and then we are
13 more episodes.
finished.
We get our 7 now, and whatever the hell we get, we're going to keep reading. We're going to keep rewatching. We're going to keep talking. We're looking forward to Sunday.
I know. Oh my gosh, so exciting.
So exciting. So, guys, tell us what you think of Game of Thrones, how you feel about it. Did you not like it? Do you love it? Are you in shock that there's only 13 more episodes? Let us know in the comments. Check out the other videos, guys. Check out the comedy sketches if you're new to this page. Do some comedy stuff. Do some movie stuff. If you're on the YouTube page, check out the podcast on iTunes. Just search Genuine Reels Movie Podcast, and vice versa. Check those out. Listen to this on the go. Check out some other podcasts we did on there. We did one about Halloween 3. I did one with my brother about Roadhouse. We just bullshit. We laugh a little bit. So check it out, guys. And thank you for watching. And winter's here.